section, I did say we were going to take the people in the order in which they had appeared in New Barnet on the redevelopment front. Asda a couple of years ago, Tesco's in January of this year, public exhibition. And I've taken Barnet last, but I'm not quite sure that I should do that because I'm not really sure that they've appeared on the scene yet. And that's one of my areas of concern. For the last 8 years, the Community Association has been pushing for the development brief or an air planning brief for the gasworks site. And for the last 2 and a bit years, since we first started hearing about Asda and then JCOS, for an area planning brief for New Barnet. Now, this isn't a complete zoning plan that says that number 23 to 27 will be residential, 29 to 43 will be commercial. Not as explicit as sort of the Eastern European state 5-year plans, but one that says that the preference will be given to certain types of development in certain areas, and that certain types of development will not be favourably viewed. We have a unitary development plan, which this association is very active in creating and getting amendments to, but it's not tough enough, and it still means developers are setting the agenda. So the next section, we have got representatives from the council, 2 ward councillors. One of them, Joanna Tambourides, cannot speak publicly as she is a member of the planning committee, and it's totally archaic rules. They're not made up by Barnet, they come from central government. Any councillor who is on the planning committee or substitute on the planning committee can't contribute to a debate where there is likely to be a planning application coming out. So Joanna will sit there and listen, but will not contribute, but do not hold her silence against her, please. I should have said we welcomed our Member of Parliament, Theresa Villiers, who came bang on time, I noticed. Well done. Thank you very much for coming. And we also have the Director of Planning and Environment, or Planning anyway, for the borough, Stuart Murray. He's the head of department, so we've got the top head honcho here tonight. I don't know who... Well, we don't often get a round of applause. I don't know which of you would like to say anything. Have you anything you would like to say about the development? Brian? Yeah. I know it's politicking season with the mayoral elections, but if we could keep it factual, I'd be grateful.
Thank you, Chairman. I am Brian Coleman. I'm the London Assembly member for Barnet and Camden, also a Cabinet member here in Barnet. I had seen the Tesco's presentation. They came down to our office at City Hall about 8 weeks ago. I have to say, I've also seen Asda's presentation. They came to my office about a month ago. That was a very short meeting. Because having seen, if you think Tesco's is bad, wait till you see Asda's. Because theirs has no less than 283 flats on top as well, going to 8 stories. So no wonder they haven't turned up tonight. Can I say to you, last summer I enjoyed on my holiday a very nice paperback called Tescopoly. I suggest you go to your local bookstore and buy a copy. It's only $4.99. And if you go to that, Barnet has an entire page in Tescopoly. You look us up in the index. And why do we have a page? Because Barnet defeated Tesco's over a Tesco's Express store in Ballard's Lane, M12. You may know the site. And we went to public inquiry. I spoke at that inquiry, and praise the Lord, we're in church. The inspector sided with the council and rejected Tesco's planning application. I make my personal position quite clear. I oppose this application. I will oppose the Asda's application. I shall lobby whoever the next mayor of London is to make sure that they oppose the application, because I suspect both applications will now be referable to the mayor and his London plan, which I also make claim I oppose. So I say to you, and I'll just say one factual thing about the council's position. There is no way on God's earth that the London Borough of Barnet will allow Tesco's or any other private developer to use compulsory purchase order plans this site. We said no to Waitrose and East Finchley, and we will say no to Tesco's or anybody else. There will be no compulsory purchase orders issued by the London Borough of Barnet, not whilst I'm part of the council, to facilitate this development or as this development, or probably any other development in New Barnet. So I made my position quite clear.
At least that was an unequivocal statement, which I have to say is refreshing from a politician, so well done, Ryan. Theresa, do you want to say something? Yes, please. Member of Parliament, Theresa Villiers.
Thanks very much. Well, Brian Coleman is always a tough act to follow, but I'll do my best. I very much agree with what you've just heard from Councillor Coleman. I just don't think we need another supermarket in this area. We certainly don't need another supermarket. I know we've been told we can't talk about traffic anymore, but that is one of my primary concerns. I just don't see how the roads can possibly cope with the lorries coming in to supply a big new supermarket and the customers who will inevitably be driving their car to the supermarket. I just don't think that we have the road space to deal with that. The junction, the relevant junction, I just don't see how it really could be improved or amended in such a way to deal with the problem. The proximity of the railway bridge means that one's options are very limited in terms of dealing with the traffic problem. So, I mean, for those reasons alone, I know it's in a sense, I feel I'm unfortunate because the applications haven't come in, but from what I've seen of them, I just couldn't possibly support them, and therefore I will be opposing those planning applications when they are put forward to the council. Thank you.
One of our other ward councillors, Councillor for East Barnet, Robert Rams.
Thank you very much. Theresa said it's hard to follow Brian. I don't know how to follow Brian and Theresa, so that's nearly impossible. Thank you very much for organising tonight, and thank you very much for coming along tonight. As I said before, I'm completely against this proposal. I don't believe we need another supermarket. We don't need two supermarkets. We've got one that's serving the community well enough at the moment. I will be there campaigning against any proposals for any developments in East Barnet. Transport's been mentioned already, and I agree with all the views on transport. Small businesses have been mentioned, and how they look to work with small businesses. But we've recently seen a development outside the borough, but in Cuffley, where again they came saying they would support businesses. Within 6 months, the local shop had closed, and those small businesses aren't surviving with Tesco's. It just doesn't work. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you for organising this, and I'm here to work with you and support you in this campaign. Thanks a lot.